Yeah, it's a little messy over there. What are you gonna do? The room's not bad. It's been better. It's been a lot worse. So, yeah. So today is my last day of my vacation. I took the week off and we went camping, which is one of those weeks that I didn't bother making any videos. So today's Friday. We try to book camping during the week instead of the weekends, especially at provincial parks, because they get a little busy on the weekends, a little loud sometimes, and blah blah blah. And I don't want to ruin kids' fun, but hey, you kids, keep the noise down. But I am getting that old where, well, where I don't need it. So we'll book during the week, which was great. So so today on a Friday we had absolutely nothing to do. So Sandy and I went. Here's me cleaning the thing that I said I wasn't going to do anymore. Sorry, Linda. This is cloth. This is so the parts don't run around, roll around. I had a plan, and I rethought it today, that I'm going to maybe glue some sort of neoprene rubberized coating to this table, make it perfectly flat. I do find picking up pieces and putting them into bins on this thing a lot easier than it was on the straight melamine that's underneath here. You can see it's straight melamine that's kind of beat up. The melamine was an idea that I had when I built it. That would be nice, but the white melamine scratches off pretty easy. So it looks like crap. So covering up with a black, this is just a bed sheet, by the way. For those who might be interested, this is just a bed sheet. My friend Janie, for shows, would go down to the States when she was running BrickFet to buy tablecloths, and it was just cheaper to buy bed sheets than tablecloths. It does exactly the same thing. So I asked for a few, and so I have 3 or 4 black. The idea for me was to have a backdrop behind the layout. I had these things hanging from my Easy Up at one time or twice at BrickFets, so because it's nicer to see the space display with black behind it than busyness behind it. But I said stop that, so I don't bother with this anymore. But this thing's nice fold up, and I wash it every once in a while because some stuff gets on it from the various things I'm gonna do, like I'm gonna do right now. So a complete surprise to me. So when we were out at the Value Villages, Sandy said, hey, this morning, let's go after breakfast, let's go for a drive our normal loop, or hitting a few of our normal Value Villages in the area. And lately, the pickings have been a little bit meh. There's always been Lego, but it's new Lego. And for those of you who like new Lego, all the power to you. I have enough, and I don't even use it, so I'm becoming, again, this is me parting the downsizing and not bringing more stuff in here, is to only grab stuff that not just a generic pile of bricks. I see a specific piece I want in there. I have a bunch of specific pieces I want in there, and I will grab it. So I was very surprised when we visited our Value Village up in Waterdown. I walked in there, and they had hanging bags, and I went through the first few, and it's like new sets with the beiges and the tans and the whites and the pinks and the dark pinks. So Friends or whatever, dark blay, light blay, so anything later than 2000. No original pieces from the 70s and 80s, or 60s, 70s and 80s and 90s. So I wasn't remotely interested, so I just let it go by. I don't need any more of those pieces. I have enough if I need to build anything. But then all of a sudden I came across a bag, and I will pull it out here. Now I will say Waterdown charges a lot more. You'll see $11.99. We still get a 20% discount. But I noticed that there's this brick here, a slope 2x2 gray with pattern on it, and then there's this inverted 2x2 slope blue with a pattern on it. And then there's a radar dish there, and then there's a rocket thruster there, and I go like, oh, but wait, the piece de la resistance, as they say in à la français, 1x6 trench yellow. which came in very, very few sets. And other miscellaneous light gray pieces and thrusters in the bottom here, air tanks there, blah, blah, blah. So I said, oh, there's going to be some classic space in here. Woohoo! Score, yoink, grab that one. And then I went and I looked at the next bag. Again, $11.99. And there's this thruster here, and there's this wing plate there, and then there's like this big nice piece here. So it's not the Gamma 5, it's the bigger one that Chris likes. Which I don't mind. There's a thruster here. There's a Space Dart wing piece or other things. Trans yellow 45-degree slope thing that I just keep on running out of. Like, so again, oh, yoink, bring that over here. So I'll just start piling these right here. Oh, but wait, there's another bag. There we go. Now this one was a little bit sad because it has some broken pieces. Broken 4x gray plate there, but again, another wing plate there, the 8x8 wing plate there, another picture on a 2x2 slope, a castle panel, whatever, didn't mind really. Some more grays, another radar dish, a steering wheel, thrusters, blah blah blah, big wheels. So and right in there you can see the base of a tail from, you know, really a white thruster here. So I go, huh, grab that one. Oh wait, I won't be doing this too much more, but a few more. A broken 10x20, but I got a billion of those. But again, more pieces, more parts. 3x4, 4x3 window, radar dish, blah blah. 4x8 wing case, more radar dishes. I'm thinking there's a robot command center in here somewhere, possibly. So I got that one, and then last, but by no means least. Oh wait, sorry, I got two more. I didn't really get two more. $11.99. So here we got another 2x2 with printed on it. We got there's I saw more stuff in here. I don't think this is one of them. Sorry, that one, this one here. So I got Voss one. I'll put that there. And now the last bag, 6 bags. A non-broken 10x20, not that I need anymore. Gray again. So there's some trans yellow in here. Another steering wheel. So a few more pieces from the classic space generation. And then I was in the checkout line. So I grabbed these 6 bags. There was about 15 bags there. I grabbed these 6. The rest of them looked like they were not part of this lot. And then when I was in the checkout line waiting, I happened to notice in all these bags that have classic space ads that there seems to be an inordinate, beautiful word, an inordinate amount of yellow pieces in there. And I said, I mean, why would there be an inordinate amount of yellow pieces in these bags? And I just happened to be looking at this one. And then look at that shield. There's a yellow castle in here. Like, what the heck? There's an actual yellow castle. I saw some 2x2x3 sloped yellow pieces, and going, I don't know how much of the yellow castle's in here, but I've seen some helmets, some of those old school space gray, light gray helmets. They're in here. So I own 2.5 yellow castles now, so I might have 3.5. I don't know how many pieces are in here, but I was excited to see that. And again, here's one of the slope pieces right there. And there's some minifigs in here, blah blah blah. There's some non-Lego in here too. That's going to be fun. That's why I'm not going to open these bags right now. There's some very, very new pieces. I think they had a couple lots put together and they just kind of swept them into these bags. But I'm going to have honestly a good time going through these 6 bags of Lego. I might do it on camera, I'm not sure yet, but for 12, 24, 36, 48, 60, $72 minus 20%, whatever that happens to be. I can't complain about these 6 bags. I honestly can't. I think that this is perfectly fine for what I'm interested in getting, and the Yellow Castle's a bonus. I don't know exactly what space sets I'm gonna find in here. I have a feeling the Robot Command Center's in here. I have a feeling that that bigger ship than the Gamma 5, and I always forget the name, but it has a dark blue canopy instead of the green, the trans green. It has the trans dark blue, and it has the back and the robot and 8 wheels, I think, rolls out 6 wheels. I know I built one of them for the reviews. I always forget the set number, but it's the bigger version of the Gamma 5. The Gamma 5 is my favorite of that kind of era of ship, but they released that other ship at the same time. Oh look, even so, this is, I didn't even notice this. So you got the black visor right there, and the jousting thing right there. Yeah, so this is gonna be fun. And a helmet there, old-timey helmet there. A Christmas tree, but that's irrelevant. So there is a Yellow Castle in here, and I'm looking forward to finding it. I have Classic Space is my favorite, and I'm gonna buy Classic Space parts and pieces. Oh, and this is what I also think. This is the Robot Command Center has this thruster piece in it, which came in very, very few sets, including the mobile the Robot Command Center. So I'm gonna start sorting this out. If I might tape it, I might not. Who knows? But I'm sure at some point you're gonna see what I have from this lot, and I'm going to, you know, I got time. I'm in no rush. I am back into this. Just noticing this too, and it has the cowling there. I don't know which print is on it. I think it's the pink one. Yeah, it's the pink one with the crown. See if I can get that so you can see it. The pink one with the crown right there. You'll see it when I finish. Yeah, looking forward to it. So that's it. That's all. I hope everybody out there is doing well. Yeah, I was happy today. I'm always happy, but this was nice. This was a nice find. And again, I didn't realize until I was in the checkout counter what else was in here. I'm becoming, the older I get, and this is a purposeful thing. It's not to finish this video again. The older I get, the more purposeful I'm deliberately oblivious to stuff that is, I don't want to say background noise. I don't want to demean or diminish other things that are going on in the world. But I'm at the point now where if I'm not interested in something and other people are, all the power to you, I'm just not. And so, and this seems to be part of all the aspects of my life, but specifically in this context, I am really just searching out for Classic Space and things that might improve the layout. And I'll show you something that I just got at the, when I went up for Lego dinner. They had these in the pick-a-brick wall, and so I just got a bunch of them because I don't have a lot to begin with, but now this should help me make things look like they're floating in the air or in space around the layout. So I grabbed a bunch of those, and so that's what I got because I'm interested in that specific. And a lot of people, oh Dave, do you want this, do you want that, do you want the other thing? No, I'm not. I have too much here, and yet I just got more. But I am downsizing the stuff I believe at this point I will never ever use. And so I put a blinder, here's the horse blinders, I put a blinder on when I'm out shopping for stuff and finding stuff at Value Villages and other thrift shops. I put blinders on to the stuff that would be cool to have. I don't want to diminish the stuff that is out there that other people want. All the power to you. And if I had a bigger house, then fine, I get it. But I don't have a bigger house, and I don't have more time. I mean, don't go worrying. My time is not finite yet. But I don't have enough of it because there's so many things I want to do. I do not have enough of time to sort through everything. And so I'm trying to narrow my field of view, again, the blinders, to what I'm very, very much interested in. And classic space is something I'm extremely, supposedly, passionate about. Kind of exude that, and that's what I want to keep on doing. And so when I find in the wild at thrift stores and or other places, classic space, I still go to marketplace, classic space, whatever. Oh, I see classic space, and completing not. When I use the term classic space, I mean anything before 1999, so, including Ice Planet. That's what I'm interested in. And so I'm trying to downsize my time and effort into focusing on the specific stuff that I want. This was 100% on board with me and what I want. And the other bunch of bags that were there were really cool bags. A plethora. Another nice word, a plethora of pieces that were awesome, not just basic brick, but a plethora of pieces and all the various new colors. I would hazard a guess, it was Friends, and it was probably Ninjago and stuff like that. No Nexonites. I sort of looked for Nexonites a little bit. I never bought any new Nexonites off the shelf, but it was kind of cool. And it has a transient orange. So I kind of, I'm not up on the up of every single set that was released in the bunch of the last 20 years. But that looks like Friends, obviously, with the dark pinks and the light pinks and the tans and the whites. But also some Ninjago just by the accoutrements that were in the bags. But there was nothing older than Blay and dark Blay. There was no older colors. There was a lot of basic old colors. The blue, the white, the white was there. Blue, yellow, red, the old standard colors. They were much in absence in those bags. So these bags had a lot of the old colors, like you see yellow, which again I should have clued into when I was at the back looking at them. Oh, there must be Classic Castle in there. It's yellow, and yellow is ubiquitous when you're sorting out lots. Now, again, when I look at my shelving behind me, yellow is the least represented of bins. Like, as I say, when I fill up a bin, I overflow into a separate bin. And yellow has the fewest bins of the original colors: black, white, red, yellow, and blue. Yellow by far has the least number of bins over there. So that means I have, like, all my plates, I have 1 by X plates and 2 by X plates, but I have 4 or 6 plates in one bin. Whereas black, I am now at the point where I'm sorting 4 by X plates into separate bins and 6 by X plates into separate bins. Blue, because I used a ton in the layout, blue is not extensively shown on my shelves because, again, it's all in my layout. So, but if I took my layout apart right now, blue would take up an entire shelf easily. Take up an entire shelf. But yellow, very, very few yellow pieces, the fewest of the original colors. And so I should have clued in when I looked at this that there was a lot of yellow here. Like, just by looking at it, you can see there's a lot of yellow here. That I should have clued in that there was a Classic Castle in there. And just by the pieces that were blatantly obvious that I was, blinders on, focused on the classic space. And it wasn't until we started scanning them in at the checkout, and I said, hold on, just realized a Classic Castle here. So I went back and I re-looked at the bags that I left to make sure. I believe there was 2 separate lots on the shelf. Again, the other bags were just full of new pieces exclusively. These ones have new and old, and I just wanted to make sure that the bags that were still remaining in the store didn't have Classic Castle pieces in it, because I wasn't looking for that the first time through. The other thing for me is I don't mind walking away. I left 7, 8, 10 bags on the shelf. Just, yeah. Let somebody else, again, share the wealth. I mean, I could have taken them. It's not like I couldn't have taken them, but I'm not interested in the sorting. I'm not interested in the storing. I'm not interested in whatever. Again, nothing disparagingly wrong with those pieces at all. And again, if I ever change my mind about my old school building, and maybe I'll try something new, I might kick myself in the butt. No, it's not gonna happen. But I'll say, oh, I wish I bought those bags. No. I don't live with regret anyway, overall. The only time I live with regret in my life is when I know I've hurt other people's feelings and made them feel less than who they are. That's the only regrets that I consciously remembered right now, and I can give you a list of those kind of regrets I have had with people both recently and back in the day, going back to the single digits where those things be like, I have my happy memories I remember, but I also remember not at the time thinking I was being maliciously bad, but taking a step back, knowing that I said something or did something to hurt somebody else, and a second of sober second thought, I would have rethought what I said or did, and realized what the impact would have been on somebody else. Now, again, I don't lose sleep over it now. Life happens. We've all stepped in it before. We've all done stupid stuff. I don't like, oh, I kick myself in the butt. I let myself up off the carpet. Which was something I brought in the video I deleted yesterday, but I'll touch on it very, very quickly today. Well, I still have 21 minutes of this. I've been reading Still Just a Geek by Will Wheaton. Sandy got it to me for Christmas, my birthday, a bunch of years back, and I've been reading it when we go camping, and I finally finished it. And I would look forward to camping because I love camping, but I also look forward to camping because I get to read Will Wheaton's book, Still Just a Geek. I've loved Will Wheaton as an actor since I saw Stand By Me in the movie theater. And then when he hit Next Generation, because I mentioned this, I love Star Trek, and that was a huge part of my rant yesterday, but I deleted it all, so you're not going to hear it, so let's just touch on it. I love Star Trek, and I love Will Wheaton in Star Trek, and a lot of people didn't, even at the time, but I did at the time. I'm just a few years older than he is, I believe. I don't know exactly how old he is, but I believe I'm a few years older than he is. And Wesley was one of my favorite characters, even though, I knew back then, but he has said specifically that the character was very poorly written. The writers didn't understand how to write for a teenager in this show. And that's fine. And he also said a few times he called it in and whatever. He'd rather be at the beach playing with his friends than making this show. But he's been a Trekkie since he was a kid, just like me. He loves Star Trek, just like me. And he got to be in Star Trek, unlike me. And so Still Just a Geek covers a lot of stuff in his life. As I was reading that book over the last bunch of years, there were so many times I wish I thought that it would have been nice had, knowing who I am and knowing the upbringing that I had, where I did have family, like just honest to goodness, I'm not saying Norman Rockwell family, but I'm just saying the best family and the best upbringing ever. And there's no proviso to that. There is absolutely no there's no proviso. Yes, my parents got divorced when I was 17, but it is what it is. That did not impact on my upbringing and the fact that I had literally the best childhood ever. And every family has their problems and every family has issues, but our family was always there. And I always have these little, I won't say fantasies, but these ideas and ideals that had we lived in LA and had Will Wheaton and I lived on the same street, that I would have been his friend, possibly, because we have this similar interests a lot. And my family would have been the Romulan neutral zone for him. I think about that stuff. I know of as I was growing up, that my family and my extended family, all my uncles, aunts, and the entire clan of us, we were known in the community as people that you could go to, and just, if you need help, if you need anything, we'd be there for you. I had a completely different upbringing than Will Wheaton did. And there were so many times I just wanted to say to him, that he has seen, he has heard, that he has understood for the stuff he's dealing with, and and yet he made it on his own. He came out on top. He did not fall into the Hollywood trap of young actors who go into lots of huge drugs and lots of parties and lots of ending up in the tabloids and blah blah blah. He did not go down that path. I believe I remember him saying a few times that he attributes that to his geekiness. Me too. Because I didn't go down that path either. I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't do recreational pharmaceuticals. I live what some people would consider a very straight and narrow life, as the straight and narrow, but I never considered it straight. I've had the time of my life. I'm 56 years old. I still got 40 years left in me, according to my parents, my grandparents. I have had a blast in my life. I've had the best friends, the best relationships. Again, the ebbs and flows. Like there's stupendously huge angst and sadness and anger and frustration. That's everybody. But I've always had a huge foundation where I never had to worry about the next day, waking up tomorrow. I never had to worry about who my friends really are and are they really my friends. I've never had to worry about that kind of stuff. I accept all my friends for who they are, and they accept me for who I am. And one of my friends I've known since I was 4 years old. I'm 56 years old. One of my very closest friends right now I've known since I was 4. That doesn't happen every day. Most of my friends I've known since my teenage years in high school. Most of my friends that I still have right now that I go see tomorrow for coffee and go see Sunday after, well, they're after church, not me anymore. But and then we go camping together, we go do all these adventures together and blah, 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 for the last 35, 40 years. And I don't know, I wasn't going to talk about this, but we're talking about this. I've said this, and I mean it in the way it's supposed to be meant. I'm not invoking any deity or anything like that. I have been extremely blessed. Absolutely. By far, I've been extremely blessed in the life that I've had. And the people around me who have encouraged and edified and helped. And, I never had to worry. I never felt alone. I never felt like I was left hanging without any support from other people my entire life. And not everybody got that. And even though they got divorced, my parents, for us kids, both of them were absolutely stupendously awesome. And my dad still is. My mom passed away 11 years ago. Unfortunately, but they were and are awesome. And yes, family has family issues. There's 100%, every family has family issues that we don't have to go into here because it's a public forum and nobody needs to know our dirty laundry. But overall, the entire community stood up and told me and the entire community that my parents are awesome because my parents won the Citizenship Year Award in 1983 in Stony Creek. Both my parents together as a couple, and then they were divorced, but that's a whole other story. But it was deservedly so, and yet they weren't arrogant about it. They were never ever look at what I'm doing. I'm doing this for the accolades. I'm doing this for the acknowledgement. I'm doing this to get attention from other people. My parents were never like that. They never did anything at all during my childhood and watching them do all this stuff. They never did anything for the accolades. They did it because it's the right thing to do, and they pushed that onto me where I will do things because it's the right thing to do. It doesn't matter who's watching. It doesn't matter who's not watching. It doesn't matter. Who I am when I'm alone is exactly the same thing as who I am on here, and who I'm in public, and who I am with my wife and my kid. This is it. I am the epitome of WYSIWYG. Old school timey acronym, WYSIWYG. I am the epitome of that. This is who I am. Honest to God, this is who I am. and I don't hide it, and I never hid it. I never hid this. I never hid my love of Lego back in high school. I never did. I made Pete, Jake, and we made Lego Wars, and I went to the student council, and I said, "Hey, student council, what we can do at lunchtime to raise money for whatever you want to raise money for, is that we can take one of the empty classrooms at lunchtime, and we got the VCR there. We could show Lego Wars and charge 25 cents, 50 cents admission. Whoever put that in the weekly journal, whatever, and put in the announcement, hey, go see Dave's Lego Wars." I didn't hide it. I wasn't like all hiding. Oh, I don't want friends to people at the school know I'm playing with Lego when I'm 15 years old in high school. Are you kidding? I didn't care. I didn't care what other people thought. Some people loved it. Hey, Dave's playing with Lego. The teachers and I had great conversations after they watched the Lego movie that we showed in school, and I loved it. And they were passionate about my passion. Again, this is where I always get that, because when I look at my childhood and what I was passionate about, I always found people who were passionate about my passion, and I was passionate about their passion. I wanted to see what they could do, and it's one of my friends used to call it the Mutual Admiration Society, MAR. Mutual Admiration and Appreciation, MAAR, Mutual Admiration and Appreciation Society. MAS, MAR, I thought it was MAR, can't remember, but it's Mutual Appreciation and stuff. And I love that idea. I love edifying other people. I love helping other people be built up, and appreciating who they are for who they are. And when I was reading Will Wheaton's book, because I didn't buy his Dancing Barefoot. I was again, this is also my life, is I procrastinated so many things that it's not even funny. I wanted to buy his Dancing Barefoot. I wanted to buy his first Just a Geek. I never got around to it. That's all I could say. I just never got around to it. I was following him. I read his blog every day, blah blah blah, when he started a blog. And so I was really understanding from his persona that he was portraying on his blog and his interviews and blah, 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 where I don't think he was hiding as much. Because when you're an actor, you have to play a part. But when you're writing your own blog, as we know here, that you get to be more you. And again, there are certain things I'm not going to talk about. This is like private stuff. But overall, this is who I am. And I got the feeling when Will was doing his blog that he was posting as himself as best as he can in a public forum, that he's going to be by people who, die Wesley, die on RTL, die Wesley, die, people who are completely against Will Wheaton, no matter what he does or whatever he never did. I never had that. Again, I'm not famous, so I never had that kind of pressure. And as a teenager, I can imagine what he was going through when people were coming up to him saying, "You ruined my childhood. You wrecked Star Trek." I don't believe so. I thought he enhanced Star Trek, and because of his perseverance and what he's doing now with the Ready Room, has shown that he is a huge value added asset to the Star Trek lexicon and history of Star Trek. He is in today's day and age, he is the nexus between the old generation and the new generation, because he was years younger than TNG stat crew and the original series people who are sadly passing away now, and the new crop of people. He was right in the middle. He was the only one right in the middle, and he was like older than Jake and Nog and DS9 and stuff like that. Anyway, not to keep on going about this. I loved it. Still Just a Geek was very, very meaningful to me to see Will, and I mentioned earlier that I do have regrets in my life, but I don't carry them around with me. Every once in a while they'll come to the surface, and I believe I've made as many amends as I possibly can, and I try to learn from them, and life goes on. The only thing I would say to Will, if I ever met him, is, and I believe he's already living this, so I don't have to tell him anything. Who am I to tell anybody anything? Is to let yourself up off the carpet. Like, I hate to use the word context and time and place. that the certain things should be universal across time, certain ideas and ideals, but that's not what the actual reality is. And when you're younger and you're writing stuff versus when you're older and you're more wizened and you've lived a life and you've come to realize that certain things that you thought and or said when you're in your 20s is completely inappropriate in today's generation, shall we say. I read those things, Will, and I saw you kicking yourself in the butt with your sub notes, saying, "Oh, I shouldn't have said that. That was too far. That was too ick. That was too." I get it, but we all grew up then. It's not the excuse. We all grew up in the 90s, and that's so sorry to say this, but that's the way it was. And it shouldn't have been. Absolutely should not have been. We should have been better people. But hindsight's 2020. You learned, we learned, and you have to let yourself off the carpet. And I know you already did that, so don't bother listening to me about this at all. You do not need to feel regret. Well, regret's not the word I'm looking for here. You do not have to feel badly about stuff that you thought about other people, and or said or did, because we were all kids. We all did stupid stuff, and as long as the people who may have been hurt by those words, those people that you mentioned in your book, I'm not going to mention their names here, but those people that you mentioned that you thought that about or said about, and if they know who you're, it's clear as day that they do not have any animosity towards you about you thinking that or saying that when you're in your teens and 20s. So let yourself up off the carpet. Life goes on. You've made your amends, and live the best life. Live your best life. I am. This is absolutely my best life. I cannot think of a single thing I want to do with my life that I'm not already doing that's going to make me any happier. And that's the whole thing when I'm getting towards my 60, is that I am doing stuff that I want to do. I'm getting stuff I want to get. I am not getting stuff I don't want to get. So I won't quote George W. Senior, George H.W. Herbert Walker. He's the president of the United States. He doesn't have to eat broccoli because he's president. And he's old enough to say, I don't like broccoli. And he shouldn't have been raked over the coals for it. He should be raked over the coals for a bunch of other stuff. but this is my point. Like, we as collectively as a society have to grow up. We have to get past the mundane and the minutiae and the completely honest to God irrelevant stuff. Like the stuff that we've decided to make from nothing into the biggest disaster of the entire. I don't know how many of you remember when George H.W. Bush said he doesn't want to have broccoli. Like, people lost farms, from what I remember, because there was, the president doesn't eat broccoli, and there's a huge president, and then broccoli farms they saw a hit. Like, eat broccoli if you want to eat broccoli. Don't eat broccoli if you don't want to eat broccoli. Like, it shouldn't. His words should not have impacted on anything or anybody whatsoever on that specific subject. He doesn't have to eat broccoli. He's gone now. I liked him as a guy. He seemed to be nice as a president. His son was a little bit whatever, but that should not have been a conversation beyond 2 seconds. I don't eat broccoli. The end. Move on. It's like why? Anyway, I don't know how this tangent showed up. Anyway, I am doing what I want to do. I am at that age now where I just whatever. If I want to walk in that direction, trust me, as I've said before, I'm walking in that direction. I don't believe me walking in this direction is going to harm anybody or make anybody upset. If they're going to get upset, they're going to get upset about me walking in any direction. So it doesn't matter to me if they're upset for me walking in this direction. I will be very, very encouraging of my relatives and friends who are LGBTQ. Plus, whatever, I don't know all again, I don't have to because I'm not, but I encourage and support all my friends who are, and it's amazing to me actually how many of those I have. So it's like, wow, I had no idea. I I support my friends in whatever they want to do with their lives, as long as it's not negatively impacting on anything else. Live your life the way you want to live your life. Do not wait until you get acknowledgement from other people that they like it. Just live your life as long as you like it. As long as what you like isn't hurting anybody else, have at it. That tangent came out of nowhere. So anyway, I'm gonna start taking some of these bags apart. I'm gonna figure out what's in them, and I might take some videos. So that's it. That's all. Everybody out there, stay safe, take care, and be you. Be the best you, and don't let anybody make you feel guilty for who you are. That's one thing I did learn from my parents very, very clearly at a very, very young age. Don't let anybody else dictate who you are. You be the best you. And I'll talk to you soon.